Have you heard about Jack the Ripper? No, not that guy. That's not Jack the Ripper. Come closer. Let me tell you a story. It's about a monster who lived among men, a shadow in the fog, a ghost in broad daylight. It's about London in 1888, a city choked by fog and shadowed by secrets. As the gaslights flickered on, so did the eyes of the monster. He moved in the labyrinth of Whitechapel, a maze of poverty and despair where people were more than just shadows of their former selves. They were forgotten. He chose his victims carefully, women living on the edge, some as young as 16, all lured by the promise of a shilling or two. Prostitution was their only way out of the misery that threatened to swallow them whole. But they didn't know they were walking into a nightmare. The first victim was Mary Ann Nichols, a 43-year-old woman who had seen better days. She was found in a dark and narrow alley with cuts so deep they revealed her bones. Then came Annie Chapman, a 47-year-old veteran of the streets, her body mutilated beyond recognition. The killer was moving around like a puppet master, pulling the strings of terror across the city. The third victim was Elizabeth Stride, a newcomer to the streets, a mother of 6 who had taken desperate measures for her family. But she didn't make it out alive. The killings continued. Catherine Eddowes, a 46-year-old with a troubled past, was found in a gruesome state. Her face so disfigured it wouldn't have been recognizable if not for the help of a nearby policeman who put the pieces together. And then there was Mary Jane Kelly, a 25-year-old who dreamed of a better life. Her body bore the marks of a savage attack, a horrifying end to a woman full of hope and life. These 5 women were the canonical victims of Jack the Ripper, the ones whose stories stuck to the fog and the walls of Whitechapel. But there might have been more. You see? Jack worked in the shadows. As the killings continued, fear turned into a tangible presence in the fog-laden streets of London. People stopped walking alone, huddled in groups, clutching their loved ones close as if that could shield them from the darkness. Suspicion fell on coaches, on fellow pedestrians, even on the police themselves. A wave of unease crashed over London, shaking its foundations. More than a killer, Jack the Ripper became a phantom, a specter haunting the city's dreams, an embodiment of the lurking evil that seemed to be everywhere and nowhere. Over 100 men were accused of these crimes, from respected doctors like Francis Tumbledy and Thomas Neil Crane, to butchers like Montague John Doozy and Aaron Kosminski, a barber from Whitechapel. Even royalty was not spared the scrutiny. Conspirators whispered that the infamous Prince Albert was Jack the Ripper. But there was a problem. None of them had any real evidence. As the investigations deepened, the net widened, but it caught nothing. All the evidence was circumstantial, all the accusations based on speculation. The true identity of Jack the Ripper remained shrouded in mystery. Fast forward to today, over a century since the terror in Whitechapel. The question still lingers. Who was Jack the Ripper? In the annals of criminal history, Aaron Kosminski's name stands tall. In 2022, a cold case review team claimed that forensic evidence from one of the victim eshawls linked him to the crime scene. This was backed by genetic genealogy, which traced his maternal relatives. And finally, the narrative that had echoed through generations found a name, a face, a story. Except not everyone is convinced. While this might seem like the end of the story, another chapter has already been written. Controversy. Some argue that the shawl might have been contaminated. Others point to doubts in the genetic genealogy. In the absence of hard evidence, the debate continues, keeping Jack's ghost alive. And that's why when you walk through the fog-laden streets of London, when you hear the echoes of footsteps behind you, when the shadows seem to dance in the flickering gaslight, you can't help but wonder, is it just the wind or is it Jack the Ripper?